Good morning, Reds. How are we doing? Sam here, United People's TV, Sunday morning after Manchester United's 4-0 win. What is the date today? I can't remember the date. It is the 20th of August. So we've got 11 days now until the closing of the summer transfer window. Manchester United have already made some great signings this summer. Nemanja Matic and Romelu Lukaku, he's clearly going to make a difference. Victor Lindelof, he's obviously going to make a difference as well when he actually sort of gets into the swing of things. And I'm looking forward to seeing how all of Man United's new signings settle into the club. Now, do Man United need a fourth signing? Because we've been going after Ivan Perisic all summer long. We've also been talking about Thomas Lemar from Monaco. We've been linked with Serge Aurier, the PSG right back. Danny Rose saying that he would move north for trophies has got people talking about a new left back. But what I want to hear from you this morning, do you think that Man United have any weaknesses in our squad? Are there any positions that you feel that we could do with strengthening? And if that is the case, who would you put into those positions? I'll be straight in, I'm saying right now, I think there's one weakness in the squad. I won't say where it is. I want to see what you guys and girls have to say about it and see whether you agree with me. But first things first, I'm going to run through a few of your comments and then we'll discuss them. What we got here? BMW Jacob asking where I am today. I am in Switzerland in a small place called Meulen, near Lake Constance. We're going to go visit Lake Constance later today. That's where I am. Thanks for asking. Lemar says Nick B. Lemar, I think, will be a fantastic signing. I don't know whether Monaco would let him go. But the interesting thing to note about Lemar is Jose Mourinho's comments. Because all summer long we've been thinking that fourth signing, if we do make that fourth signing, that is going to be a new winger. But Mourinho has said that if I was to bring in that fourth signing, it wouldn't necessarily be an out-and-out left winger. I would want someone who could play in a left wing-back position so that I can play with three centre-backs and play in a 3-5-2. Lemar doesn't really do that. He's more of an out-and-out winger. So maybe Lemar wouldn't be on Man United's list at all and Duncan Castle's got it wrong. Not sure about that. Ronald Joy Kumar saying left back is a weakness in the squad. I agree. That is currently where I feel Man United's weakness is. Now that's probably because Luke Shaw isn't fit and ready to play. And fingers crossed when Luke Shaw does come back and he's playing with the under-23s on Monday, I think Luke Shaw could solve that problem. But it's whether or not Jose Mourinho has complete belief in Luke Shaw's ability to do that. Come back from injury and fill that void. If he does and he can, I feel Man United have got a complete starting 11. Still worried about the rotation in that position, but ideally you'd have two players in every single position. But you've got Matteo Darmian there as a decent backup left back. You've got Dimitri Mitchell who can also come through and play. Daley Blin's been playing there a little bit. I don't like Daley Blin there too much, to be honest, because he can't overlap and run back. He always leaves space in behind. So we've got options there, but we haven't got a set starting left back at the moment. We need another top-class striker, says Glenn McCauley. Do you agree with that? Let me know in the comments below. I think you've got Romelu Lukaku, 3 in 2 games. Fantastic start to his Manchester United career. So good to see him starting with goals. So people won't be going, oh, Lukaku hasn't scored for Man United yet, blah, blah, blah. He's completely pushed that to the side. He's looking good. You've got Marcus Rashford, who, he could have scored yesterday. Yes, it was a bit of a cute finish instead of maybe being clinical and just firing it into the corner. But we all know Rashford's quality. He'll score 15 plus this season. I'm hoping he's going to score 20. That's my hopes of him. Anthony Martial can play through the middle as well. But Man United typically always have 4 strikers under Fergie. The reason I don't think that is an issue now is because we only play with 1 striker up front. So having 3 strikers on rotation for 1 position is effectively the same as having 4 strikers rotating for 2 positions. So I think we're okay in that position so long as Anthony Martial gets used as a striker at some point this season. Malik Rogers saying, I want Danny Rose or an established left back and then cover for Valencia. RJB saying Oxlade-Chamberlain can play at wing back. Oxlade-Chamberlain, is he going to be leaving Arsenal? Liverpool were heavily linked with him, but they didn't actually move for him. Don't know about Danny Rose. Obviously, Danny Rose, as I said, his comments, will he stay at Spurs? It's an interesting one for him to put pressure on Spurs to do that. But Spurs, up until signing Davinson Sanchez, had a very, very quiet summer. Maybe they're going to be a little bit busier towards the end of the summer. But Danny Rose would clearly be an outstanding signing, but it would effectively be a nail in the coffin for Luke Shaw. So it depends whether you want to put your belief in Luke Shaw, or to say, you know what, Luke, it hasn't worked out for us, I'm going to go for Danny Rose instead. By the looks of things, Mourinho's taken the Shaw route. Shaw has been on the pre-season, he's impressed Mourinho, he's coming back with the under-23s on Monday. Is this his last opportunity? I hope not, but it's certainly one that he really has to make a statement of intent and actually show that he's ready to take that left-back position on a full-time basis. Right-back needs a little freshen up, says Mr. K. That's all. I'll give Shaw a chance at left-back and then wait until next year. I think we have a great squad to try and get that title and go far in all competitions. I do agree with that. I think we've got an excellent squad with the likes of Andreas Pereira, and Herrera hasn't started the first 2 games. You can include Chris Smalling as an option coming through. Matteo Darmian's not played there. Anthony Martial hasn't started a game yet. Ashley Young, if you want to include him. United do have options and strength and depth in certain positions. In other positions, I feel central midfield, we're a little bit weak there. Marouane Fellaini's going to play too often in that position for me. That's my own personal opinion. Michael Carrick, he can play certain points this season, but we can't rely on Carrick to be that central midfielder anymore. But it doesn't matter though, because we've got Nemanja Matic. Fingers crossed the injuries don't curse Man United there. Nick B saying Oxlade-Chamberlain not good enough. Let me know in the comments below. Would you think that Oxlade-Chamberlain would be a good signing? Let me know in the comments about that. Malik Rogers saying, do we really need a left winger now? If we re-sign Ibra, then we have 2 dedicated strikers and we can play Rashford and Martial out on the left. Very good point there, fella. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I said it as soon as I heard that Man United were allowing Zlatan Ibrahimovic to train at Carrington and sort of regenerate himself, go through his rehabilitation at Carrington. I felt he was going to sign in January. I felt that was a dead cert. And that still looks to be the case. Mourinho's already talked about it. Reports have already suggested that he's been offered it already. Imagine Ibrahimovic coming in January, say Man United go, that's when the FA Cup starts, games are starting to pile up, we need options and rotation. Bringing someone like Ibrahimovic in January could be an outstanding January signing. And fingers crossed that does happen, because I genuinely think it'll be a fantastic thing for Man United. And having Ibrahimovic around the dressing room, building up to that point, is definitely not a bad thing either. Is the Perisic deal still on, says Winston Hull. I don't think so, mate. Man United have missed that boat. We refused to pay Inter Milan the 50 million they wanted. He is going to stay, probably sign a new contract. Man United are now looking elsewhere. If we're looking at any other players at all, we're certainly not looking at Perisic. Buy the pie back, says Jeppy Burdin. Not sure about that one. Would you take Memphis Depay back at the club? Let me know in the comments. Frederick Eriksson saying, what do I think we need? I think in an ideal situation, if I was playing Football Manager and I had this squad and I looked at the positions and what I wanted to bring in, I would have brought Renato Sanchez in on loan. I can't see a fault in that move. Bringing someone in who's raw, he's young, he's quality, bringing him on a loan to buy option. If he has an outstanding season, you buy him for 30, 40 million, bargain. We were going to pay 70 million before Bayern Munich signed him. And having him in the squad would give us the options and give us the cover. I wouldn't start him every week. He would know he wouldn't be starting every week. He's on loan. But that would give us more options than Fellaini and Carrick in midfield. And that's where I think Man United's biggest weakness is. As I said, a big injury to Herrera, Pogba or Matic, our midfield is going to be looking a bit sketchy. Especially for Matic, because that means Carrick's going to have to start every week. And we might see Marouane Fellaini playing that defensive midfield role. Fingers crossed injuries don't come in. Left back is certainly a weakness. But I think Luke Shaw, I've got every hope that Luke Shaw will come back and show that sort of early season form he showed under Louis van Gaal with Memphis Depay on the left-hand side. Remember their partnership they started to build prior to Luke Shaw's injuries. I'm hoping that Shaw can build that this time around with Anthony Martial. Do I still think we need more players, says Real Pong Pool, interesting name. I do think we could do with that fourth, as I said, midfield signing. That's where I would do it. Mourinho clearly disagrees because that left wing position has been where Man United have been linked heavily with players and why he wanted someone like Perisic. You see Romelu Lukaku's movement, you see his height and his power. You understand why Mourinho wanted a new winger that sort of fires crosses in, but it doesn't look like we're going to get him. Luke Shaw is class, says Angela Waltz. I hope he makes it back. I agree with you, Angela. I think Luke Shaw can still be the best left back in England and England's #1 left back choice ahead of Danny Rose. It's a long road of recovery for him and he's got a long way to go to get to that point, but he's still young. As long as he's got it up there and his body is recovered and is strong enough, I think he can still make it. Which winger would I sign, says JK48. I think I'd take Lemar because he's about 7 years younger than Perisic. I feel Perisic would have been a very Mourinho signing, comes in for 1 to 2 seasons, does a job, gets sold, moves on. Lemar would be someone that Man United fans that we can all get on board with. He's young, he's exciting, he's got the potential to grow and improve as a player, whereas I feel Perisic would come as a ready-made superstar. And that's what, and I'm genuine when I say this, I was more excited about the Memphis Depay signing than I was about the Angel Di Maria signing. I prefer it when Man United sign youngsters, not necessarily complete youngsters, but players with potential who've had fantastic seasons in other leagues or in England, and they come over to United and we see them grow into stars. I'd rather see a player grow into a star than a ready-made star brought into Man United. And typically we haven't done that well with signing ready-made players. Schweinsteiger, Falcao, Di Maria, they're 3 that stand out in recent years. Man United have always done best in bringing potential and blossoming that potential at the club. And I feel someone like Lemar over Perisic will be falling into that category. Draxler would be great, says Nick B, but he won't be leaving PSG. He would be great, but he certainly won't be leaving PSG. Nice comment. Lee Harvey saying, we need to sell a few players and spend some money on a really good winger that can give us extra options. And definitely need to see Luke Shaw back in the team and maybe go for Draxler. He wants Draxler as well. Good point raised by Lee Harvey there. Let me know in the comments now, are there any players in this squad that you think Man United should be selling? Because the transfer window, of course, is about ins and outs. We've let go of a couple of players, Rooney and Ibrahimovic getting $500,000 off the wage bill. Are there any current players still in the squad that you would sell this summer? Let me know in the comments below. Frederick Eriksson saying, do I think that Rashford should be playing as a winger or a striker? Now, Rashford in his youth career came through as a winger. He only played as a striker because of injuries. But he's absolutely a number 9. We all know that. Everybody knows that. Let's not get it twisted and start thinking that Rashford, maybe he can be a winger. He can be a winger, but it's not his best position. When he becomes our number 9, I'm absolutely certain that he will be our number 9 alongside Romelu Lukaku. There's no reason that they both can't. I suppose if you're playing one up there, both can't play at the same time. But we've got enough games, we're in enough competitions that there can be enough big matches for both players to play in that position. I think the fact that we don't have a proper out-and-out winger means that Rashford will get used there quite a bit by Jose Mourinho. But my personal opinion, Rashford is a number 9, and that's where he should be used. Right, all of you coming in with your comments on who we think should be sold. I'll read a few of them out. JK48 wants to see Jones get sold. So does Jeppy Birdin. So does Philemon Rayo. The guy wants to see Varela and Ashley Young. Varela's actually already gone back to Penarol. Ashley Young is still at the club, going to be playing with the under-23s on Monday in his return from injury. Smalling and Young says RJB. JK48 says Jones and Young. Jeffy Birdin says sell Luke Shaw. No. We've waited this long with Luke Shaw. Selling him now would be shooting yourselves in the foot. We've given him all this opportunity to come back. We've now got to see him, and fingers crossed he can come back. And as for selling Phil Jones, I think if I'm looking at Phil Jones and Chris Smalling, I would rather sell Chris Smalling and keep Phil Jones. Personally, I feel we've seen the best of Chris Smalling in a Manchester United shirt. That season under Louis van Gaal, I think he won Players Player of the Year. Outstanding he was in that season. Completely regressed under Jose Mourinho. Obviously with that Chelsea performance, away from home, when we went 1-0 down within 30 seconds, he was atrocious in that game, and then Mourinho started throwing barbs at him saying he didn't play very well, and then Smalling came out and said he had a broken toe, blah blah blah. Sorry. I feel that was Smalling's best season under Louis van Gaal at Manchester United. I don't think we're going to see that again from Chris Smalling, whereas Phil Jones has got a higher ceiling point, more potential than Chris Smalling does. It's just that his fitness has stopped him from reaching that potential. He was arguably man of the match against Swansea. That partnership alongside Baye could be a fantastic partnership. Certainly competition there for Victor Lindelof. And I think I would much rather keep Jones and Smalling. So if I'm going to sell one of those two this summer, I would definitely sell Smalling. A ginger with a tan. Congrats, mate, says Tommy. Mate, look at that arm. Ooh. Olive skin, that's all I'm saying. We don't need to sell anybody, says Manjeet Kumar. Fair enough, the squad in its current state is strong, I feel. But in an ideal world, I think there are a couple of positions and players that I would switch around. I think I would let go of Ashley Young. I would much rather see Andreas Pereira play on the wing at any point than Ashley Young this season. It depends whether or not Mourinho wants to play wing backs, because in that situation, Young is a very good and versatile wing back. And we haven't got that many of them in the squad. Matteo Darmian can certainly play there. Marcus Rojo could probably play there, but in the back three, you'd probably play him as a centre-back when he's returning from injury. Chris Smalling should be sold, says SAS Techie. I agree with you on that one. Sorry, Chris. I think we need Aurier for rotation this season and starting next, and Danny Rose to add width to the left, says Hovic. I think if you're looking at full-back positions, right-back I feel we're quite secure at. We've got Antonio Valencia, one of the best right-backs in the league. We've got Matteo Darmian, who can play there if he wants to, although he does play left-back as well. Axel Tuanzebe, he can also play right-back. I feel Man United are okay in that position. And I think if we're going to sign someone as a full-back, we should sign someone who's a left full-back rather than, or maybe someone who can play on both. Someone who's versatile, a squad player. Lingard is not United quality, plus he has big wages, says Philemon. Let me know in the comments what you think about Lingard. Lingard in or Lingard out? For me, I genuinely do not understand the amount of criticism and hate that is aimed towards Jesse Lingard. For me, he is an excellent squad player at Manchester United. For me, Jesse Lingard should be in this Manchester United squad, but he shouldn't be starting every single week. When you've got players of the quality of Anthony Martial and Henrik Mkhitaryan to play on your wings, and Juan Mata, you start them. Jesse Lingard should be starting certain games. Take that Chelsea at home last season, one of our best performances of the year. We played with Lingard and Rashford up front, and it caused no end of problems for Chelsea. It's just that when Lingard starts every single week, everybody starts getting a little bit frustrated. That's when people say, why is Lingard starting every single week? Right now, if you use him as a squad player in the right way, Lingard is an asset to this team. And that's my own personal opinion. You may disagree. Let's read a few of these comments out, because I reckon a few of you do disagree with me. Lingard stays, says Josh Duznap. Harish says Lingard stays. Lingard is utter shite, says Salford Reds. FA Cup final goal, League Cup final goal, Community Shield. He loves scoring in big games. But it's just that he shouldn't be starting every single week. That's where the frustration is. I think this year, after this season, from how we've seen Mourinho use Lingard at the start of the campaign, it looks like he's going to, for me, be using Lingard correctly. He's going to be using Lingard as a squad player, coming in certain occasions, but not starting every single week. If we use Lingard like that, I think we're going to get the best out of Jesse Lingard. Malik Rogers saying Lingard is purely a utility player. Football is ridiculous enough to now warrant a player of his calibre to be paid £100,000 a week. He just doesn't have an established position. It's not his fault he's going to be paid that much. United offered it to him. He accepted it. He shouldn't be on that much money in the grand scheme of things, but it's not my money. It's not your money. And as I always say, unless the season ticket prices increase at Manchester United, and they haven't in the last 3 years, been frozen, we've got no grounds to complain about how much players get or how much players are bought for, how much players are sold for. It doesn't matter to us. It really is irrelevant. Sporting Saints saying, should they get Griezmann in January instead of Perisic to now add more depth? Don't think Griezmann will be going in January. I think Griezmann will be joining Man United next summer. It's going to be another long, drawn-out transfer saga, but I absolutely think we're going to be signing Griezmann next summer. Quick reminders to everybody, 150 of you watching right now, over 200 comments. Thank you all for watching and commenting. If you're new to the channel, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button, and please drop a like on the video, because it does help United People's TV, helping us grow as a channel, and it's fantastic to have all you guys and girls involved in these live streams. Let's get back to the answers and questions. Questions and answers, answers and questions. Anyway, Mickey's on fire, says Lee Harvey. Best player in the team in my eyes, and only going to get better. Shout out to Tim Fosu-Mensah, going to be a worldie next year. Fosu-Mensah has gone on loan to Crystal Palace. They unfortunately lost 1-0 to Liverpool last night. Oh, was it last night? Yeah, it was like yesterday evening. Fosu-Mensah is an outrageously good athlete. He's just got to learn his position now. And he's young, and he will learn his position. I can't wait to see how good he's going to be. And Mkhitaryan's got 4 assists already. Mkhitaryan, I think, this year is going to be the Mkhitaryan we thought we were going to see last year. Early signs certainly indicate that is going to be the case. Jeffy Berlin saying loan Angel Gomez out. I would disagree with that. Angel Gomez is, what, 16? You don't loan a player that young out. You keep him under your arm, you keep a watch on him, and you watch his development closely. We shouldn't be loaning Angel Gomez out. what we got here. Timo Anderson. I want Verratti to United. Please, Ed, make it happen. Verratti would have been wonderful, but I don't think that's going to happen. If there's going to be a central midfield signing, I feel it should be Renato Sanchez. But as you can see, there's lots and lots to talk about still. There might only be 11 days left in the window. We might not sign a fourth player, but are we going to be selling anybody? Are there any positions that we really should be strengthening, or Mourinho should be looking to sign a player in? Maybe that is the case at left back. Maybe that is the case at left wing. And I would argue we could really do with the strength in depth with a central midfielder like Renato Sanchez on loan. I can't see an issue with that at all. That is it for today's live transfer show special. I'm so happy the internet has worked. I'm so happy to have all of you commenting, getting involved. From next week onwards, United People's TV is going to be getting bigger and better. There's going to be more regular videos, more regular content. So make sure you join in everything. As I said, if you're new, subscribe to the channel down there. Drop a like on the video. Thank you all for your comments. We'll see you next time. Take it easy.